coming up on the Charge on Air. War continues to spill across borders in the Middle East, how Lebanon has been caught in the crosshairs as Israel and Hezbollah continue fighting in the Levant.
Seminole County parents and students are speaking out. Find out the new policy that may forbid clubs and sports teams from traveling out of state.
A new degree program is making its way to UCF, what students can expect to see this upcoming semester after the Board of Trustees approved the new program.
In sports, women's basketball head coach Gabe Lazo is already making a name for himself just a week after being hired, while his recruitment is turning heads.
The Charge on Air starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to the Charge on Air. I'm Luis Perez.
And I'm John Warner. Today is Friday, April 17th, 2026.
Lebanese and Israeli officials held diplomatic talks in Washington, D.C. earlier this week regarding a peace deal for the ongoing Israel-Hezbollah war. Charge on Air reporter Isaac Abdelmessih tells us more about the meetings and why one UCF organization is calling the conflict a genocide.
Lebanon continues to feel the effects of the current war between Israel and the Iran-backed proxy Hezbollah. Since early March, the Middle Eastern country has been engulfed in a conflict as Israeli strikes and Hezbollah rocket fire continue to intensify. As a result, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted diplomats from Israel and Lebanon in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday in hopes of finding a solution to the current conflict.
The historic opportunity, we understand we're working against decades of history and complexities that have led us to this unique moment.
For some at UCF, Israel is indiscriminately bombing civilian areas throughout Lebanon. Lamia Mukaddam is from Beirut, Lebanon, and a representative of UCF's Divest Coalition, an organization that attempts to get UCF to divest funding from weapons manufacturers. She says Israel is committing genocide in Lebanon.
They are targeting children. They are indiscriminately bombing. They are not giving people time to leave or warnings or inaccurate warnings. And all of this constitutes genocide.
On April 8th, the coalition took to social media to speak out against missile strikes Israel carried out earlier that day across various parts of Lebanon's capital.
The coalition shared this image on its Instagram page, emphasizing the sizable difference in square mileage between suburbs in Lebanon's capital opposed to various central Florida cities.
The post went on to explain that 160 bombs were launched over 100 locations across Lebanon in only 10 minutes. The strikes killed over 300 people and wounded hundreds more. Dr. Human Sadri is a UCF political science professor with a focus on the Persian Gulf and Eurasia. He says that he hopes diplomacy prevails because of the large loss of life.
Look at how many children have been killed. Look at how many women have been killed. Look at how many, older people have been killed. Look at how many innocent young men have been killed that they were not, a part of any military.
In Orlando, Isaac Abdelmessih, the Charge on Air.
Rubio says that while current diplomatic talks are a historic opportunity, no breakthrough agreement will happen right away.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. faced intense questioning on Capitol Hill yesterday as lawmakers pressed him on his handling of vaccine policy and proposed health care cuts. The health secretary testified before House committees where Democrats repeatedly challenged his past statements on vaccines. They also questioned his response to recent measles outbreaks. Kennedy defended his agenda, shifting focus to food safety and drug pricing reforms. He also backed a proposed double-digit cut to the federal health budget. The hearing quickly turned heated, with sharp exchanges and personal criticisms from both sides of the aisle. This marks the start of a series of high-stakes hearings that could shape the future of U.S. public health policy. Kennedy will appear at 7 hearings in 7 days, according to Bloomberg government.
Pope Leo XIV is escalating his public feud with President Donald Trump after delivering sharp criticism during a speech overseas. Speaking in Cameroon, the Pope warned that the world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants and condemned leaders who use religion to justify war. While he did not name the United States directly, many see the comments as a response to President Trump's foreign policy, including the ongoing conflict with Iran. The remarks come just days after Trump publicly criticized the Pope and said a meeting between the two is not necessary. The White House has not directly responded to the comments, but the exchange marks a rare and growing clash between the Vatican and a sitting U.S. president. For now, both sides appear to be digging in as global tensions continue to rise.
Siemens Energy, a Pegasus partner with UCF, debuted technology that will propel the university into the future. Charge On Air reporter Sabrina Hansen tells us exactly what this means for UCF.
Engaged.
On Monday, Siemens Energy debuted their AI grid lab here at Research Park.
This is just one of the technological advancements here at Research Park. The lab debuted new AI technology that is intended to fortify and secure the power grid.
I spoke with Dr. Wason, a UCF professor and principal investigator for the lab, who explained how the AI is improving the grid.
So you're using historical data or your training data, and you train to the AI models to have intelligence. So when a new situation happens, that you won't take much more time to using a complicated model to recalculate it. You can use a trained AI model to provide a solution in a very fast or real time.
The lab included a multitude of things, from robotic dogs to ice cream. They also held presentations on how the AI worked. UCF Associate Vice President of Partnerships, Michael Harding, shared what this lab means for UCF.
Our faculty and our students have hands-on learning and can access this technology every day. What does that mean? It means that that gap between the real world and what's coming next is much more compressed. And so having that unprecedented access where we can take those learnings back into the classroom for our students is a huge, huge win.
It is no secret that the use of AI being more integrated in day-to-day lives has been met with some controversy, something master's student and Siemens Energy intern Michael Wakim understands.
But I know that education is the most important thing regarding learning new tools. And that if there's something you're afraid of, the most important thing to help is to learn about it and to educate yourself. Education defeats fear every time. And this tool is nothing to be afraid of.
In Orlando, Sabrina Hansen, The Charge on Air.
The AI system is called Noedra, and according to WFTV, will work with utility companies including OUC and Duke Energy to test the technology.
Seminole County Public Schools recently declined a sports team's request to travel out of state in the fall and has followed suit with all county sports teams and clubs. Charge On Air reporting Kymani Brown attended a recent school board meeting to see how parents and students felt about the travel ban.
Oviedo High School's girls volleyball team was denied a trip to a Hawaii volleyball tournament this fall, sparking controversy from parents and players and a quote-unquote ban from traveling out of state from Seminole County Public Schools. These concerns were voiced at the recent Seminole County Public School Board meeting on Tuesday night.
A school district is facing enrollment issues. There must be a level of common sense that I'm not familiar with, because as I don't see a single angle of how this mandate doesn't encourage parents to go right to Orange County, charters, homeschool, and private schools. Seeing as the news is here, the private schools ought to send a thank you note for the free publicity they're getting.
To add to that, hours before the board meeting, Seminole County Public Schools issued out another email stating that they never said there was a ban, but many parents in attendance had proof that there was the word ban in an email.
Parents' perspective is one of high interest in this topic, especially because the parents have voiced that they have no problem paying the extra funds that the fundraising couldn't when it comes to letting their kids travel with their team or program. But here at UCF, many of those students now attend UCF after college, whether it be directly after or after a 2-year degree at a community college. And here these students feel like it's more than just not letting the kids travel, it'll make kids not want to go to Seminole County Public Schools again at all.
College recruiting, that'll definitely really lower it, because college coaches like to go out to those regional competitions and those big tournaments where they're outside of the state and everything to recruit and everything. And so if these Seminole County schools won't be able to go out of the state, then college recruiters won't be able to see them, and then recruiting will go down, and it just won't be very good.
Seminole County Public Schools have not made any additional statements and have not overturned the decision. Kymani Brown in Orlando, The Charge on Air.
The school board stresses the students' well-being will be at the forefront of importance. Get out the sunscreen and Hawaiian shirt once again, Knights. The sun is back out. And we're getting closer to the summer.
That's right, Luis. Let's bring in student weather anchor Kymani Brown. And Kymani, are we expecting any rain that could put a damper on those blue skies we're looking forward to?
Actually, we're not going to have any rain, so there's no excuse why we can't go touch grass or even touch sand at that point. But let's take a look at these current conditions that we have here at UCF. So currently it's at 84 degrees with the humidity of 57%. The winds are a chill 4 miles an hour, and there is, again, 0% chance of rain. And back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kymani. Coming up after the break.
UCF is introducing a brand new degree program.
Delve into what you're passionate about, and I think that makes it very unique.
Find out more about this new degree when we come back.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
On Wednesday, the UCF Board of Trustees approved a new undergraduate degree program for UCF, a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and Risk Management and Insurance. The degree focuses on preparing students for entering the risk management field of insurance. Sophomore business economics student Olivia Hoffman tells us she's excited for this new degree program.
Major, you can focus specifically on one part of insurance, which I think is really unique because a lot of majors you're expected to cover a lot of things. And in this one, you can really delve into what you're passionate about, and I think that makes it very unique.
If approved by the Florida Board of Governors, the program will begin in fall 2026. Marketing and recruitment efforts for the program will start this summer.
The UCF chapter of the Gift of Life Registry is recruiting from one of the nation's most diverse campuses to address life-saving disparities for minority patients. The process of saving a life can begin between classes at UCF. The Gift of Life chapter is working to change the odds of genetic disparities. A transplant is often the only cure for patients with leukemia, but Black patients have only a 29% chance at finding a match, according to the chapter. Organizers say UCF's diversity is key to fixing that lack of representation. There's been 5 matches and 2 successful transplants facilitated on campus this year already, proving a simple cheek swab can provide a student's last chance for hope. For more information on how to join the registry, visit giftoflife.org.
UCF Professor of Psychology and Medical Education, Dr. Deborah Beidel, was recognized by the Orlando Sentinel as a Central Floridian of the Year finalist. The Sentinel Award recognizes professionals in the community who have made a lasting impact. UCF Restores began as a grant from the Department of Defense in 2011 to treat PTSD in soldiers, sailors, and Marines returning from Iraq and Afghanistan.
And being a finalist was just a thrill for us. And like I said, it's a thrill for everyone who works here because UCF Restores is not one person. It is an entire team that makes this place happen.
Dr. Baito said the whole team is looking to testing AI technologies with VR exposure therapy in the future and breaking boundaries to help others. The typical humid summer heat made its way back to Central Florida this week, and we know you felt it.
Coming up, we take a look at the upcoming forecast to see what's on the horizon for the weekend and beyond.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
We're expecting some mild temperatures next week, something we haven't seen in a couple weeks.
Let's check in with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University student meteorologist Reagan Hurd for the national forecast.
Hello UCF, I'm meteorologist Reagan Hurd, and the big story for today is the severe weather that's happening tonight. Associated with this cold front and low pressure system, we're seeing high chances for severe weather from Oklahoma towards the Great Lakes. And with the severe weather comes strong, heavy rain. So flood potentials are high or slight and marginal from Oklahoma City all the way up to the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, Chicago areas, and they've already been seeing a lot of rain, so this is not a good look for them. Over on the West Coast, snowfall forecast is up to 6 to 10 inches in some localized areas, and that is being caused by this upper level system tracking through the west and coming towards the east. That's bringing cool temperatures across the western United States, while the eastern half is seeing above average temperatures, temperatures up to 15 degrees above normal. For a look at your local forecast, check back in at UCF.
Thanks, Reagan. John, we felt those strong winds this week.
Yeah, we did, Luis, but even with that breeze, some areas in Central Florida still feel like a sauna. Let's check in with student weather reporter Kymani Brown with a look at this week's forecast.
Yes, all right, you guys, get ready for a blast of great weather. We got a simple 86 degrees in Gainesville, an 84 in Palm Coast, 84 in Leesburg as well, 84 in downtown O, Winter Haven and Tampa in 84, and then an 81 out in Melbourne. So it's gonna be a pretty cool 80 degrees for the area. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Essentially, we have Saturday with a big 90 degrees, a 68% humidity with a 0% chance of rain. Sunday is going to be just about the same with 89 as the high, 69 as the low, 0% chance of rain. Monday, we're going to see 70s with a 78, 65 low with a 0% chance of rain. Tuesday, 80 degrees with a 62 low and a 0% chance of rain. And then on Wednesday, we will have a 78 high with a 61 low and a 0% chance of rain. So there will be no rain for the entire week. So that means that we can use Orlando for the theme park capital of the world that it is. And back to you guys over at the desk.
Thank you, Kymani. Luis, I'm really looking forward to those nice midweek temperatures.
Oh, most definitely. New women's basketball coach Gabe Lasso is already making an impact.
The portal, you know, you can turn your roster around and you can be as competitive as you possibly can.
Find out Coach Lasso's plan for the portal after the break.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. One in 3 adults has prediabetes, and you could be one of them. There are usually no signs for prediabetes, so it's important to understand your risk. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
We come from a long line of farmers, and there's a sense of pride with being part of these multi-generational businesses. But there's also a significant amount of pressure. My senior year of high school, my dad made the decision that this world no longer needed him in it. I don't know if he was overwhelmed by the bills and checks that weren't going to be coming in because of the strawberries dying off, but it breaks my heart that my dad made a permanent decision for a temporary issue. Don't feel like you have to go through it alone.
Farmers have to take care of their physical and their mental health, because what's a farm without a farmer?
In the mornings, that's my time. Watching the sun come up, I can have a cup of coffee and exercise if I want to. It helps me start the day with a sense of gratitude.
Yay!
Every day is a new opportunity. Don't forget to check in on yourself. Love, your mind.
How crazy it is at UCF right now.
Men's tennis continuing its dominance on the court, 20 years of the bounce house, and what Gabe Lasso is doing for women's basketball. I'm Diego Ortiz, and let's take a look at what happened this week in UCF sports. Number 14's men's tennis played Arizona State on Thursday in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. The Knights outshone ASU in the Florida Sun, winning 4-0 in their 20th match of the season. This comes after the Black and Gold defeated Arizona State last Sunday 4-3. The Knights dominated in doubles and swept the singles bracket with wins from some of its biggest players. Freshman Pedro Rodriguez played his first collegiate career tournament, clinching the final point with a win in singles against ASU junior Jelani Sarr 6-4, 6-4. Juniors night, Wissam Abderrahman cruised to a win in his doubles match alongside fellow teammate Clement Lemire 6-1. Abderrahman explained how the team kept momentum throughout the match.
Felt that he had to put pressure from the start, and then we were a bunch of us, I think, winning the first set, 3 or 4 people, so we just felt we were on top of it the whole match, and Pedro taking care of business there like he did in Arizona State.
The Knights faced number 9 ranked Arizona in their semifinals match at 2 p.m. today. UCF played the Wildcats on April 9th and lost 4-1. The Knights look to improve this afternoon with home court advantage. 20 years of the bounce house, 20 years of celebration, all in one season. The 2026 season marks the 20th anniversary of the bounce house, and Why We Bounce celebration will commemorate all the good moments.
The finishing touches on the Roth Tower project will bring a new fan experience to the Bounce House and take the football experience to a new level. The opening of the Bounce House in 2007 was already a big decision made to move from the Citrus Bowl, known as Camping World Stadium. UCF Athletics will celebrate all the good moments throughout the 20 years, like the undefeated season in 2017, the bowl wins, conference championships, and more. UCF football is a little over halfway with their spring practice period, and it's giving newcomers a chance to get settled here in Orlando. With 47 new players to their 2026 roster, the Knights are using this period to touch up on small details ahead of fall camp later this year. It's also time for new coaches to get used to the environment and their new team. New tight ends coach Cooper Bassett comes from Oklahoma State University, and at just 36 years old, he intends to bring his knowledge of blocking and aggressiveness to his unit. He also seems to feel very comfortable here in Orlando.
It's going great, having a blast. When you have really good people in the building, it makes adjustment really easy. It's also not bad whenever it's 80 degrees and sunny every day, so the family's loving it. We got a great group of guys, staff, and players, so we're having a ball.
The Knights have now completed 8 of their 15 scheduled practices. Their spring game will take place on May 2nd at the Acrisure Bounce House, and it will be a chance for coaches to evaluate all the position battles taking place. UCF softball stays hot and now sets up a ranked Big 12 showdown at home. The number 20 UCF softball team is building momentum at the right time. The Knights improved to 33 wins on the season after a 5-3 victory over Stetson, powered by timely hitting and a strong outing from senior pitcher Lena Elkins. UCF has now won 3 straight and sits at 9-1-1 in its last 11 games. The team also moved up to number 21 in the latest RPI rankings. Now the Knights turn their focus to a key Big 12 series at home against number 24 Kansas, and will look to continue that success as it strengthens its NCAA tournament resume. Gabe Lazo recently became the head coach of Knights women's basketball team and is already making an impact. Lazo started to show off his recruitment skills by adding personnel around him to support his coaching mindset. Along with securing his first signings as a coach, Lazo added guard Michaela Johnson from Pitt, who averages 13 points a game. This move adds a much-needed scoring to a squad that ranked second to last in that category last season. Additionally, all Southland's first team from Stephen F. Austin's Key Roseby, French international Salom Boyomo from Croatian first team division, Miami's Candice Pettigrew, and Caitlin Jones from Wake Forest. Lazo gave his insight on the importance of the transfer portal.
But, now with the portal, you can turn your roster around and you can be as competitive as you possibly can. But we have a good mixture of returners, and we're going to add some key pieces to it and just be as competitive as we can.
The Knights continue to add power to the squad to overcome 3 years of losing seasons. We will keep you updated with any new additions or changes to the roster. The Orlando Magic are now facing a win-or-go-home game after falling in the NBA play-in tournament. The Magic lost to Philadelphia 76ers 109-97 in the 7-8 matchup. Orlando struggled with turnovers and three-point shooting all night. The Magic committed 15 turnovers and shot 27% from downtown, while the Sixers' own Tyrese Maxey took over late to seal the win for Philadelphia. Desmond Bane led Orlando with 34 points, but the team struggled to find consistent offense elsewhere. Now the Magic turned their attention to Friday night, where they'll host the Charlotte Hornets at home with their season on the line.
Thank you, Diego. That's all for time for right now. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on thechargenews.com.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, Knights.